Wow. Hi, how we doing today?
Welcome to the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. We have a special guest for you today, so make sure you stand by. Before we get started, let me go ahead and bring in our assistant host of the show, Denise.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? We're gonna have a wonderful show today with our artist, um, Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. She's going to join us today, but but right now we're gonna bring in our host with Mr. Jones. If you can step on in the room, please. DJ Max.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's DJ Mac Jones. What's going on?
Uh, how you doing, sir?
So far, so good. I'm just excited to get into this interview with this such a talented and well-rounded person.
Yes. And later on, I'm on the road right now, so Mr. Dwight will be joining us a little later.
Absolutely.
But so I'm excited to go jump into this juicy topic because I love everything about God too. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in the beautiful talented lady, Dr. Jennifer Gilbert.
And before we get started and bring our guest in, we're going to go ahead and show you. She has been here 3 years ago, and she's coming back to show you her new endeavors. But she was on here on the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour 3 years ago. It's been 3 years, yes. So let's look at a little snippet of Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. J. Gilbert Ministries consists of so much, from your published book to the gospel music. Can you share with us the other gifts the company consists of and offers, including your latest venture that's designed to spearhead domestic violence campaign?
Sure, I can try because it's so many things. J. Gilbert Ministry is comprised of, we have a Christian comedian company where we basically take a lot of Christian comedians and we tour. We nearly tour every year.
Oh, wow.
So we have the Christian comedy, we have the publishing company where we publish various books. We also have, we do plays. We write plays and we're also in plays, and then we produce plays. So a lot of theatricals in there. We also do music, theater, books. We write, we design, do a lot of graphic arts. I also have an educational consultation company. And then on top of there, did I miss something? Because you did a lot of good homework, lady.
Now, without further ado, she studied at University of Phoenix. She also studied at the University of Northwestern Theological Seminary. She studied education studies at Tarleton State University, along with the University of Houston Clear Lake. Also, along with that, the College of the Mainland. Boy, she just like gumbo. She's everything in one pot. But lastly, she went to Bradwell Institute. The doctor of all causes, the one that breaks the chain and stands her ground against domestic violence. Everyone, let's welcome in Dr. Jennifer Gilbert.
Girl, that was good.
Yeah.
I
Yes, you did that.
this lady.
Hey,
Right,
how are you
right.
doing, Doctor? How you doing, Miss Gilbert?
I'm doing amazing, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm actually it's a wonderful evening thus far. Thank you for asking.
All right.
So I hear that this new book. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. It's called Intentional Healing. Healing for purpose, on purpose, purpose in purpose. Sometimes we call ourselves accidentally healing, like, oh, I'm just over it. When you sweep it under the rug and you act like that thing didn't happen. But there comes a point in your life where you have to make up in your mind that, you know what, today I'm going to walk in my healing. Today I'm going to walk in my deliverance. Today I'm going to be intentional about every time that thing, whatever that thing is, comes in my head. I'm going to cast aside every way, lay aside every way, and the sin that so easily besets my mindset and tries to
That is
come
wonderful.
and take away that
Miss
peace
Gilbert.
that God gave me. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can your volume go up a little bit more?
Okay. Um,
And before we get into her book, because we don't want to jump straight into her book. We want to
mhm.
get to know a little bit about her first, and after we come from the first break, then we'll get into her newly released book. But let's ask this, Miss Gilbert. Could as we research, we could tell that you have a deep love for God. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in loving your life and filling your life with the greatness of our Father?
Sure. I was called to preach at the age of 7. I started preaching when I was 9. And then from there, I just literally gained a love for God. I was in an abusive childhood. Um, and my only solace and my consolation literally came from God and God alone. And so from there, God, He purified and He increased my faith in Him, literally every day. And so through every obstacle that I have went through, it's always been about, okay, God, how are you going to do that? And just when I thought I couldn't get any closer or I couldn't believe anymore, then something else happens. Cancer came, or being a domestic abuse survivor myself, raising, being a teen mom. So many things that have come my way have all worked together, as the Bible says, for our good that love Him. And I'm designed to live according to His purpose.
Wonderful, wonderful, love it. Okay, in that, as we spoke of it in the past, you dealt with domestic violence and everything, and you have helped a lot of people. How did your journey, from taking those wounds and scars, have matured and growth when it came down to taking your stand in life?
You know, um, Again, the Bible says, I know the plans that I have for you. It's plans of hope, and I'm paraphrasing, but He designed for me to live this life of purpose, right? And so in living a life of purpose, and watch this, even being in ministry for so many years, it does not exempt me from making mistakes. It does not exempt me from doing things that other people do. Teen mom, for instance, you know what I mean? Shacking for at one point in my life, and things of that nature. It doesn't exempt me from that, but what it did was it helped me to mature in Him. Our faith goes from faith to faith and glory to glory. Every round goes higher and higher, and in doing that, you have no choice but to mature. Paul said it best. He said, "When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." And so when it comes to that, that was where it brought my maturity. There were things that happened in my life that I had no choice but to grow up. For instance, having children early, marrying early, divorcing early, being a talented and gifted kid before there was a talented and gifted department in education, finding people to believe in me, being a female preacher in a Baptist church in the 1970s and 80s. So you knew that I've always knew that all odds were against me, and it was up to me to advocate for myself. And that made me grow up in God.
Okay, so Mr. Mack.
Yeah, in that, I wanted to say, you said you went through some situations where you were abused as a child, I would like to know, like, not intricate details, of course, but how did that help you grow further and further as your faith increased, and you got knowledge of different things? How did that department of your life help you to grow?
Um, one of the biggest things that grew me up in life was my mother, God rest her soul. She had a gambling addiction, and we lived in Europe, and so I was not at an age where I was able to go into the bingo hall. Not to all of them.
Mm,
Some of them knew me, some of them didn't. But this particular night, she went to one where I couldn't go, and so she locked me in a cellar downstairs in the basement, and that is where I was raped. And being 9 years old, I didn't know what just happened and how do I what do I do, who do I tell, should I tell, because it was a family friend. It was actually my brother's best friend. And so I had never experienced anything like that, and so it was that catapulted my faith in God, because when I went and upstairs and I told my stepdad, um, he of course naturally took me to the hospital and had me checked, and then when my mother came home, she swore up and down it was my fault, and I was supposed to do, I was supposed to be down there, and I was supposed to stay there and do my homework and all of these things. Like, she had every excuse instead of taking the accountability that she had done this. Um, and so that brought me into a place of, now, almost 50 years old, it takes me to a place of healing. And again, I knew from that point on, because they were so busy fighting each other about the addiction, that they forgot about the healing that I needed, or the support that I needed. And so I could only find that in God. And literally, I know I say that a lot, but He's all I have. He's all that I've ever had.
Now, Denise.
Hi. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties. I have a question. Look, I always curious about people when they start their spiritual journeys and whatnot. So I want to know, all the with the abuse and everything that went on. They used to get go through a lot of stuff when you are blessed
Hmm.
to do things. And I want to know, where did you first start your spiritual journey? Who planted the seed for you?
Oh, it was so many people. It was even my mom, and we're talking now, many years later, 40 years later. Um, I had to go through the journey of healing. And it took many years. And so it was so many people. We came from an era, or I'll just speak for me. I came from an era where it literally took a village to raise a child. We had our Aunt Nell, who kept us while my mom went to work when she was working, and we were raised in the church where everybody knew everybody's business. And my mom was a single mom for a season, and the neighbors watched us, and so it was always something. And I've always been an observant person, so I'll sit back and watch, and I watch what people do. And I remember, as a little girl, I would always sit on the front row at church when all the other kids was hiding in the back because they was playing and eating gum. And I would sit on the front row because I wanted to see them sing. I wanted to see the preacher preach. I wanted to see how he was going to break this down. What story, in my mind, what story is he going to tell us today, and what can I gain from it, and what can I, how can I use this in my life? And this was as a little girl. So I always knew that God had a call in my life, but I just didn't know what to do with it. And the first child preacher that I saw, I was actually 13. So I had already been preaching, if you would, for 4 years, but I never seen anybody that looked like me. And so when I saw this little boy, I literally, I don't tell nobody, don't judge me, I fell in love. I was like, yes, honey, you better preach, sir. You know, I made up in my mind this was my husband, and I don't know where he is or what he. But hey, if you're still out there, I'm single. But anyway, uh,
Oh, look at that. But, but that's what, shoot your shot, shoot your shot.
see,
That's what
yes,
they
sir.
say. They say shoot your shot. I guess so.
Yes.
Mr. Jones, do you have anything? You got any questions?
So right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna see a little bit on Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, and we'll be right back to discuss her newly released and published book, Intentional Healing, right after this, or as in Dwight says, two and two.
You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You look at where I am now, don't know what I've been through. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You think you know my story, yeah. You think you know my story. You think you know me well, yeah. You see all the great accolades. You think all things are going so well, but if you only take the time to see all the things I've been through, yeah, the people who left, the stories they tell, they said I am changed, they don't know me that well, oh no. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You look at where I am now, don't know what I've been through. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You think you know my story, yeah. I call them my friends, I receive them as family. I told them I love them, they even responded. Then they walked away and called me names and tried to steal the Father's glory. Oh no, they can't do that. They said for me they would always be there. They said for me and my interest they cared, but they lied to me. Come on, Jesus, help me, Father, let the healing begin. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You look at where I am now, don't know what I've been through. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You think you know my story, yeah. You look at you know my story, but you don't have a clue. There's much more to me where I am now, don't know what I've been through. You think you know my story, but you don't have a clue. You think you know my story,
Yes, yes, yes. I want to take this time and thank y'all for tuning in. Please make sure you push that like button, subscribe, and also share this video. Also, do not forget that we have the Powerful Poet poetry contest going on right now. So if you're a poet and you know it, hey, come on in. We got about 4 or 5 categories that you can win in, but this is the trophy here of the Powerful Poet of the Year. The deadline is March 30th, so make sure you tune in. And also make sure y'all tune in next week as the men of Grown Men Talking Incorporated comes to you with a topic very tasty. Mama's boy. All
Mm.
right. Let's see what's gonna happen, how they're gonna bring it down. I know it's gonna be fire. Now, before we get into talking about your book, could you tell us a little bit about that CD there that we just heard? Because I bragged about you and I talked about how beautiful and soulful that voice is. And I've always been a fan. So, in that song right there, could you tell us how you came up with the words for that song and what message are you trying to get across to the listeners that hear it?
Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for. I appreciate that compliment. That particular song, it came from a place where so many people look at Dr. Jennifer Gilbert now and all of the things that God has allowed me to accomplish and achieve in life, awards and plays and acting and singing and all of these things. I just, I always felt like if you only knew, if you only knew the hurt that I had to go through, the people that walked away, the lies that were told, all of these things. And that was like my first cry for help. Like, get to know me as a person. Even, being single, this dating life ain't easy, right? And so it's like so many people, they're like, oh well, I can't date you because I'm not a doctor. I'm sure you're looking for another doctor. I'm sure, they have this preconceived notion, and if only they understood that all that we want is love, just period. I don't need the money and all that. Just love.
Exactly, exactly. And so, let's go over to Mr. Jones and his his input.
uh, Speaking of dating, how I understand you're saying. Excuse me, let me cut up a little bit. There we go. I understand that you're saying, like if you only knew.
Hmm.
I can kind of feel that, like what you're saying when you say that. So my question to you is, why, well, in your words, why would you think, other than a person saying, "Oh well, I can't date you because you're a doctor," what would you perceive as the other things that some men don't take the time out to really get to know about who you are as a person versus all of the things that you've accomplished?
Ooh, that question was so good. Can you ask me that again? Cause that was loaded. Like, can you break it down to like my
Yeah, yeah,
special
okay, okay,
education level?
okay. So look, right?
Uh-huh.
You know how a person sometimes view a person and they get starstruck,
Okay.
and say, "Well, that's out my league." And
Right.
so because of that, they think that they have to impress you, or they got to come with all of this or come with all of that, or they just say, "That's out my league,"
Mhm.
and I'm not going to even try. And my thing is, do you think it's like an intimidation thing, or is it that you think they can't keep up with you conversationally, or what do you think it is that shies these people away?
Man, look at here. That's the $1 million question. That's an amazing question. I'm like, I'm speechless. That's really a good question. And here's the thing: if I knew the answer, I might not be single.
Mm, maybe you might be on to something.
You know, um, I can. For me, my life is very complex, and I know that. I'm a Christian comedian. I'm a singer. I'm an actress. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a whole career. I'm a homeowner. I have everything that I need, and despite COVID and all of these other things that people are using, maybe not so much as an excuse, but as an effect or a factor of what has happened, right? Um, I try to remain relevant. I try to remain humble. I try to remain approachable. Sometimes I use my comedy as a tone down. Like, hey, I'm really a real person. You know what I'm saying? I bleed every month like everyone, every other woman. You know what I'm saying? I lay in bed at night. I put my pants. I'm still a person, and it breaks my heart sometimes. It used to depress me if I could be 100% honest. It used to depress me to the point that I would not share who I was because I wanted them just to know Jennifer. And then God convicted me of that because that's a sign of immaturity. That's a sign, it's like a slap in the face to God, because He is the one who's given me all of these things. He is the one who has provided those things. And so for a man to turn me down because of who I am, or be, she's out of my league, you might be right, but you might have just missed your best blessing. Because if we look in Proverbs, right, that virtuous woman, she wasn't one out that was, selling herself. Her man just knew what he had, and he appreciated it. And because of her, his name was known in the gates. That's all I'm
I,
Love
I,
it. Love it.
I have to say, I have to say, I agree with the things that you just said. And I was just having a conversation with a group of people, and I was telling them, I believe that was last night or the night before last, and I was telling them when we was talking about finding your mate
saying.
comes from the fact that as a man, you are supposed to know that the women that you surround yourself with are a reflection of you. And so, therefore, if these women are a reflection of you, then you should want to reach for the greatest woman possible and not shy and fear away from that. So, I love what you said. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, this CD here is not the only CD that you have,
No.
but you have others as well.
Mhm.
Could you tell us a little bit about the CDs and where did you draw from in order to bring everything to a melodic healing?
Ooh, boy, y'all got some. Somebody should have gave me some cue cards tonight. So my first CD ever. These are my personal CDs because I've sung background and ghost written for a lot of different people. The first CD is the acapella hymns for the soul. That was in my real broke days when I ain't had no money for no musician. And so I just started to just sing on a the cassette player. Like, you know how you press record and you sing? That's don't judge me, okay? But that's what it was, and so there was a group that picked it up, and they was like, "Man, this is some good stuff, and it'll bless some old people." And I didn't know how I felt about that, but I was like, "Okay, well, long as the check clear, that's all that matter." So that's how that one came, and so many years later, there was a producer out of L.A. His name was Chemo Seven. He was a jazz artist, and he was like, you really should like do real recordings and like not like that bootleg stuff that you did before. I mean, it's sold and made money. That's great, but we can take it to another level. And so my fear was, um, I thought that if I do this, this is just another layer that somebody is not going to be able to accept. This is how long I've been single, right? And I was like, so now I'm really not going to find a man if I put out a CD. So I wrote the song "Can I Just Be Me," and that was the second CD that you saw. And then the third CD, which CJ Worshipers, was with the daughter of the late and great Classy Ballou out of New Orleans. And we put a whole CD, Love Covers All. That was when I was beginning to be introduced to a whole other world, right, outside of church, and realizing that there's so many souls out there that we're missing, such as the LGBTQ community, all of these things. And there were so many other aspects of evangelism that we weren't exploring. And so that's where Love Covers All came from. And then from there, um, I went and wrote my own CD, which is The Journey Back to Me, which actually accompanied the book called The Journey Back to Me. And that book came from when my kids were grown and gone. And I was like, okay, so who am I? So I was taking this journey back to a me that I didn't even know until now.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, alongside, your music, um, you just released your 44th book.
Yes.
And I was like, dang, I'm on my fourth one. I got like 40. Boy, that's a lot.
Yeah.
When did you find time between the music in writing your books? Because the newest one is the one that's released, International Healing.
Yes.
And we'll
And
get in that in
mhm.
a minute.
Mhm.
But 44 books and music. Tell us, how was you able to balance that?
Um, um, it's probably gonna be an oxymoron, right? Because I would say I'm a woman of few words. I don't say a lot, but I will write a lot. And so every year I start the year off with, okay, God, what are we going to do this year that we've never done before? It's always my desire to remain relevant. It's always my desire to do something different. It's always my desire to explore, because there's so much to God, there's so much to life, there's so much to ministry. It's not just about being in the pulpit. It ain't about spitting on people and laying hands, and sometimes you can touch the heart of a person through literature. And so every year he gives me something. And so when the first book that I wrote was in 2010, and it was called Churchin' Ain't Easy, and it was actually the dissertation from my PhD in Christian education. And before that book even hit the shelf, it had won 3 awards, and I was like, oh, and so that's where my writing addiction, if you would, where it came from. And there have been years that I wrote, um, 12 books. I wrote a book a month. And that was our self-help line for our domestic violence associates. I mean, it's just so many things. And then now we're in the education field, so I've written about 16, I think, educational books. They haven't all been released, but we've started an educational line as well. So it's just something that I do. Once I start, then it's like I can't stop.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, as me and you, I felt like God brought us together because of the domestic violence and how we was able to relate through our fight, our stand, the pains and the wounds and everything.
Mhm.
So, when I hear Jennifer Gilbert from our first interview, it just like I just fall in love with you all over again, because it's like that connection that we had with one another from the first day.
Mhm.
Now, as I can't wait, because I know what you mean by the addiction. Because when it
Mhm.
comes down to poetry, I mean, I love it because it's true
Mhm.
existence, but it's in a
Mhm.
melodic way. But
Mhm.
now I'm doing my second memoir book, and it's like I can't wait to get back to my poetry because it's a different place that you're placed in.
Mm.
So, with each
Yeah.
book you wrote, is there a different message that God sends to you through your spirit, or is it a different experience that you have went through in life?
Boy, these questions. These questions. Man, you do this every time. It's a little bit of both. When I was doing the self-help line, I was helping myself. And I started off, it was 2021. It was right after right after COVID. And it started off with, it's okay to remove the mask. That was January, right? And everybody thought I meant the mask, the N95 or whatever. But no, I meant the mask that we had been carrying for so long that COVID forced us to get rid of. Like, we had to literally sit there all day, every day, and look in our own face and be like, girl, who are you and why are you this way? And then it went into, okay, the real revelations of being single. And then it was messed up, and it was all of these different explorations of myself that I went through for the 12 months prior. And so God just gave it to me in a book form. And
Mm.
it was amazing. Like, I was surprised. Of course we did a huge launch. And then that's when I opened my publishing company, and I started every domestic violence, man and woman, that we had encountered through our organization. We published books for them free of charge. And because I believe that when you pen and paper, you give yourself a voice.
Mm.
You voice your experience. It's just kind of just like poetry. I'm voicing what I went through. And watch this. I'm taking away the power of the enemy to create a narrative about me that's not true.
Love it, love it, love it. Now here we see some of the books that you have here. You
Mhm.
know, he made a garden out of my grave.
Mhm. Yes.
Also messed up
Yes.
using the blemishes of my past to bless others. I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And then from me to me. I love that one. Love letters of deliveries in life.
Yes.
And these are just some books that she have out of the 44. We couldn't get all 44 out here. But, you know, in each one of these books that you have, and I know this one here we both can relate to, you know, when it come down to PTSD and, you know, coming from domestic violence. But out of each book you wrote, and then after you answer this, I'm going to let Denise ask her question. She's just joining us. Out of each book that you wrote, because I know I look at my books and I'm like, I like part two. Which one is the one that gives you the most flavor to say, I'm in love with this one?
Oh. Um. That's like saying which one of your kids is your favorite. Um. um. Jesus. I probably would probably say it would be tied between two, the journey back to me or intentional healing. I would probably lean more towards intentional healing because it's authentic. Not saying that the journey back to me wasn't, but the journey back to me was more my experience and what I had went through, and putting my own narrative to my own life so nobody can tell it. But intentionally healing was me saying, I don't even want to talk about that stuff. Let's just get back to the healing. Let's get to the healing because that's where life begins.
Yes, yes. And we're gonna go over to Denise.
Hey girl.
You muted, dear.
We can hear you.
Okay, Denise, we can't hear you. You muted.
Sorry about that. I said all that for nothing. No, now that I'm back and I can talk, I got a stable signal. I want to know because you have like 44 books.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, how many more books are you planning to make, or do you have any surprises for us?
Ooh, look at her. She come in with a fight. Well, since you mentioned it, I will be 50 in January, and my
Woo!
goal, my desire, is to publish 50 books by the time I turn 50. But I don't know that that's gonna happen. But no, I don't have a goal or anything. It's just like everything else. Things happen in seasons. A
Uh-huh.
lot, and a lot of people feel like, well, how do you do this and how do you sing and you act and you do and you do and you do, and I'm like, baby, I don't do it all in a day. I live in the same 24 hours you do. It's in season. The Bible says that he talks about time and season for everything. And so I think right now my season is more diving into the brick and mortar building that I have for my educational consultation company. Um, that I don't think it's a season to write, but it's nothing that I ever just put away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by that when you say the timing is not right and when it's your
Mhm.
season.
Mhm.
Because you know, like I said, when I wrote my first book wasn't the Unspoken Heart. A lot of people don't know that. You know, my first book was the Heart and Heart. And
Mm.
when I got into it, it's like as God was dealing with me, He would because I was writing the Unspoken Heart at the same time I was writing on the Heart and Heart,
Mhm.
and it was like He was telling me it's not time. This
Mhm.
book it's not time for this book.
Mhm.
Put this one out. And now I see what all He was trying to do. So when you
Mhm.
say in the right timing, I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
So we're gonna go over to Mr. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
That's
just
so.
Hey, I was just relaxing. This is sounding good to me so far.
He's being so.
Um,
He's over here trying
as,
to.
as we were. I kind of get the. I want to go back to talking about the writer's addiction, because with me being into music, how I am and how I was when I was into writing and producing and things of that nature. That's just something that, a person could ask you, how could you write a song in 30 minutes? Well, if it's authentic, if you already feel that on your heart, it's already written.
That's right.
It's like you just putting your pen to the pad. It's not like I have to come up with something to say. I already got something to say because it's already there. It's just formulated on the paper. And if you're really good with writing and things of that nature, it don't take you no time to write a great song. And then, going in behind the production of things, of making beats, and then learning mixing and mastering and things of that nature. So I put a lot of man hours in on the things that I didn't know versus the writing, because the writing is so easy. If you're talking from your heart, for me, I just basically think that addiction comes naturally, because it's so fluent to just sit down and say what you mean.
Yes.
Now, speaking of writing, you had a writer's workshop that went on.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's interesting, when you got your addiction to writing, but then you expand that writing to have a workshop to help others. Tell us a little bit about that.
We joke about this all the time. I was talking to one of my managers the other day, and it was literally where he said that I injected my addiction into other people. Because basically it was so many people. I believe everybody has a book in them. That's number one. Whether it be one or whether it be 99, it doesn't matter. But I know that everybody has a story to tell, and everybody feels like their life is a bestseller. We'll just leave that at that, right? But what I wanted to do, after I had done it for our domestic violence survivors and thrivers, there were other people who wanted to do it, but they was like, we just don't know how. Like, where do we start? Like, how do we do a cover? And what do I say? And how do I organize it? And all of those things. And so versus having all of these consultations in the middle of my own book tour, I decided to just do a workshop and show people, okay, this is step one, this is step two, this is how you organize it, and give them tips and tricks. And then we actually did a part two where it came to the marketing and trying to get it into bookstores, and not just on Amazon where they take most of your money, but that's neither here nor there. But just how to do it, and that really turned into a major event. And after that one, which was, I think, was just like maybe 2 years ago, was the first one. We have had authors just pushing out books to the point now that I have trained them on how to open up their own publishing company, how to publish their own books, and not pay people thousands of dollars to do something you can do yourself.
Great. Now, in saying that, I hope everyone is enjoying Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. She have a lot of nutrition coming more her way right after this.
No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm going through, I know he'll always be there, 'cause that is what he promised me. In the light, I've seen some hurt and some pain. It was so dark, didn't think there's anything else to gain. Thought my life was over, thought my future was over and done. Thought I let them all down, then I had to regain losing all my focus. I had to remember I really want that holy crown. So giving up was no option, though I tried so many times before. Just before I got weak, I got on my knees just to pray. And while I knelt there praying, I had to tell myself these words inside. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm going through, I know He'll always be there. 'Cause that is what He promised me. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm going through, I know He'll always be there. 'Cause that is what He promised me. In your life, I'm sure you've seen some heartache too. Please just remember it was the grace of God that brought you through. I know you felt down and out, and some people even let you down. But you gotta stay focused and let the peace of God embrace you. You got to remember it's all about that holy crown. No need for frustration. Don't let anyone make you frown. Don't let yourself get weak. Hold to His unchanging hand. Encourage yourself. I'm telling you that He will bring you through. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm going through, I know He will be there. He'll always be there. 'Cause that is what He promised me. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm going through, I know He will be right. I know He'll always be there. 'Cause that is what He promised me.
I want to thank everyone that came on to share this love with her and support her. Don't forget that we have going on. Deadline is March 30th. 2024 Powerful Poet of the Year Poetry Contest. I'm telling you, we got some videos in. I'm telling you, they are powerful. But come on in, come on in. Just make sure you reach me in my Facebook Messenger, or you can reach me in my email, theunspokenheart70@aol.com. And make sure you tune in next Friday to Mama's Boys. I'm telling you, these men are bringing it hard. They've been on fire this last few weeks. So make sure y'all tune in, come in and support and show them love. Now, with each guest we have, I know that I have this, I guess you could say, crutch, to where I get attachment and emotional with each story. And when I formed this last video, I had to do it. I know she's going to get me afterwards because of the baby pictures, but I'm sorry. But I mean, when you look at somebody's path, that tells a story within their eyes. And I mean, if y'all paid attention to her, you could just see the love and everything that she's offering to everyone. So make sure y'all look her up. Her website is scrolling down below. Reach out to her, show her some love. If you need any help or have any questions for her, you can reach her right there. You can reach her on Facebook, which she will tell you a little bit about that a little bit later on. So now we're going to go on and bring her back in. Yeah, even
Oh,
though people can't see
No,
you, I
listen,
can see you back there. And I say, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry until I see her crying.
girl. Oh, Jesus.
So tell us a little bit about that song and what inspired you to write that one there, and what place did it come from?
Girl, I'm still trying to collect myself from that video. That was absolutely beautiful. Um,
Thank you.
okay, let me get get myself back together.
there we go.
Um, um, I'm sorry. What was that question again?
You got a lot for words.
With that song that we just seen, because when I formed the video together, when I went down the line, because don't nobody think I can't find your baby pictures, because I love research. I will find you.
Clearly.
But she had hers there. But as I went down those pictures, I seen a story. I seen within your eyes, some message that you're trying to get through, but you also, it's like God carry you through each step of your path.
Mhm.
And you have became who you are today, which is a phenomenal woman.
Hmm.
In this CD here, this specific track that was just played, what message was you intended to send out to your listeners, and what place did you draw this from in order to format this song here?
um, with no matter what, I was actually coming out of an abusive relationship, and I had the faith, but I didn't have the human strength to walk away, and be free completely, because we are always taunted and traumatized in our head, thinking, well, if I just do this, if I just do that, if I just maybe if I I was going through that, and it was at a time that I had literally came off of a fast, and that was what broke me. The Bible talks about some things only come out through fasting and prayer, and I had literally just ended a fast when I penned that song, and I had to. I was rebuilding. Sorry,
It's okay. Take your time.
I was rebuilding my faith not only in God, but in myself, to trust myself again, and to believe in myself again, and to know that if God brought me through that, then God will take me through everything else that the enemy may throw my way. And watch this, he'll also take me through the things that I put myself in. And that's
Yes.
where that song came from. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what I've been through, I know he'll always be there, because he was there when I was raped. He was there when I was lied to. He was there when I was abused, both spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. Like, everything, he's always been there. And I just got to trust that he's going to do it again.
Beautifully, beautifully. Then we'll go over to Mr. Jones.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Jeez, man. Come
I,
on,
fir-
Cool Daddy. What
fir-
you got?
First of all, I'm not responsible. I didn't do it. I'm just saying. I'm just listening, and y'all a mess, and that's all I'm saying. No, but okay. I hear you say about books. That's like asking you which one is your favorite is like asking you which one is your favorite book is like asking you which one is your favorite kid. Does that also apply to your music, or do you have a few favorite songs that you've written?
Ooh. I have favorite songs that I have written for other people, that I wish I could be like John P. Key. If and those of you who don't know, he's a great gospel artist who is also a major Indian giver. Right? He gives songs or writes songs for people, and then he decides that, oh, I'm gonna keep that one for myself, and then he'll give them something else. So I'm not an Indian giver. But Yeah, it's kind of the same. There's one song that I wrote, co-wrote, if you would, and recorded called "I Told the Storm" with Greg O'Quinn and Joyful Noise. Um, that is probably of course, one of my most more famous songs. Though I ghost wrote it, um, but that is probably one of the most famous and one of my most favorite songs that is like almost now has become a timeless classic, if you would.
Ah, you know me. Of course, you know you pretty much probably gonna guess this question. Since you do write music, um, do you have any future music that you have in your arsenal?
No.
What? No arson?
No, I am, I am more right now I am enjoying ghostwriting. And for those who don't know, ghostwriting is where you write books and CDs and music and whatever for other
Mhm.
people. And
Oh,
they get the glory, the fame, you just get the check.
yeah.
So but that is a new form of not really new, but that's my newest form of ministry that I really, really enjoy
Mhm.
because it frees me up to do everything else that I do in life and enjoy and still get the residual income from that.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, you also are own and a part of two organizations. I know we spoke of one of them a while back, which is the JGM Educational Consultants LLC.
Hmm.
Could you tell us about this one and the other one that you have formed already?
So this is my newest, oldest baby, JGM Educational Consultants. I have been doing it over 15 years, and I've been doing it from my home and from my heart. Not so much for profit or gain, if you would. And so recently, my father passed, my stepfather, he passed away, which was like my dad. And weeks later, I lost my cousin,
Mm.
which was like
Mm,
my best friend, and so I had to bury them literally 1 week apart from each other, and I just got to a place where I broke. I broke to the point where, okay, who do I go to when I'm having a storm? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? I can't run to Georgia and talk to my dad, or I can't run to Galveston and hang out with my cousin. And so literally, I just was like, I got mad one day. I had been on my job for 10 years in administration, and I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't like nobody. I don't like nobody. Don't talk to me. I was in that horrible place. And the Lord told me to move. And I was like, where, go where? And he brought me here to Livingston, Texas, place I never heard of. I literally got online, put in applications, got a job the same day, didn't know where I was going, and got the job sight unseen, and came here. And I was like, God, I don't know why I'm here. Why I'm here? First of all, nobody looks like me. Uh,
Oh
you
wow.
know, like what am I doing here? And so as I got, into the environment, into the community, and I started working, then God showed me a need for my educational consultation company, and He told me to go out. This was right after purchasing my home. He told me to go out and get a building. So I called my realtor and I was like, "Hey, help me find a building." And she was like, "Oh, I'll see what I can do." And the Lord literally convicted me and said, "That's not what I told you to do. I told you to go out and scout the land." And I was like, "I'm gonna get lost."
Ah,
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna get lost, and I'm gonna get lost in a place where nobody knows me and I don't know them, if you know what I mean. And so I started the educational consultation company, and it has been an amazing experience. We offer tutoring from pre-K all the way through grad school. I have one student who is actually about to walk the stage, I think in 2 weeks, with her doctoral degree. It's my first doctoral student. Um, and that's
So, before we get in, because we know you also done some acting, and you know, I was amazed by what I had seen. And so, before we get into that, I want to take this last break, and then we're gonna get into that and get into some more information about Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. So make sure y'all just stand by. We'll be back in two.
The mind is racing, compacted with trials of life, heartaches, sending blows, pulsating, levels from one strife. My soul is darkened from shadows lurking all around, lips frozen stiff, restricting developmental form of sound. Questioning past, bad seed from whence one soul. Wounds and scars, which is of deserving, I just don't know. Exhausted and walk, body fall numb on blanketed sand. Focusing towards dancing ocean waves as an orchestrated band. Wind softly massaging my face while it flows swiftly by. Temporarily comforting my inward spirits as briskly time flies. Remembering shared times together and joy he brought to my heart. Misconception of my words resulted in tearing us apart. Emptiness fills my life as the silence of his voice. Being treated as an auction valued item withheld from my choice. Yearning for his love, he kept me placement confused. Past image of offerings is what drawed me completely amused. His hand slowly faded as towards love grew even stronger. The man who hungered me and desired existed no longer. Spaded cards flipped as the guarded gate opened wide. Assuming through everything, he will remain by one side. All appears a nightmare, for he always imprinted my smile and need of his embrace for misconcession and distancing mile. Gradually I gently opened the eyes as set inward beginning fears looking down in my hands. Embrace was a fistful of tears.
I just had this lady at the doggone stove talking about, man, you got some pretty eyes. Man, what's so spectacular about them? They just hazel. Oh, you never seen hazel eyes before?
These full of tears is the sign I don't wipe your pain away. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. These full of tears is the sign I done took your sorrow. These full of tears is purging the pain away.
As a reminder, as you see, Every time I throw a contest, I make sure I be a part of it to where people see this is also my gift, and also to encourage others to come on. Let's join in together and show the gift that God has given us. So if you know poetry, make sure you join in with the poetry contest and get your piece in. And for ones that haven't seen the Powerful Poet, this is the actual trophy right here that we already have. The other ones are on the way. Tune in next week because our handsome man of Grown Men Talking Incorporated is going to bring you some fire. I mean, I'm telling you, when they bring it raw, they bring it raw. So, hey, make sure you're in here, set that notifications because it's on and popping. Now, as we've seen, in some of these here, you have also, because I know you spoke about it, you also have done some acting as well. Uh, so could you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know I've seen some on your page.
Mhm.
These here, the Gospel Girl, Golden Girls, and the Men They Lost. Could you tell us a little bit about that and what acting does for you?
That actually, the Gospel Golden Girls and the Men That They Hurt, that was actually my second stage play that I wrote, directed, and produced.
Oh wow.
Um, and it was in honor of male domestic violence.
Oh wow!
And it, yes, thank you. And it went on to win 4 awards. It was an absolutely amazing experience. I got into acting on a whim. Some of my sorority sisters and myself, we were out on a night on the town, and I like to think I'm a daredevil, but they call me Scary Carrie, because it's just certain things I just won't do, like you know riding a motorcycle, and I'm not gonna do that, right? So we were out, and they was like, hey, okay, so whatever we say, because I lost the bet, they was like, whatever we say, you have to do. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I ain't never scared. And they pulled up to an audition for a stage play. And I was like, really? And so I really was going in just to show I wasn't scared. I really didn't want the part. I really didn't. It was never even in my mind. But I wound up getting a lead part in the play. And it was like from there, it was another bug that bit me. And I started doing stage plays. And again, in my conversation with the Lord, I was like, okay, God, in 2022, I'm sorry, 2023, I asked the Lord, I was like, what is it, we're going to do this year that we haven't never done? And he said, I want you to write a stage play. And I was like, Satan, the Lord rebuke you. Ain't nobody got time for that. And
Uh,
so we honored the 10-year anniversary of my first book, which is Church and Ain't Easy. That was my first stage play that I wrote, and it was nominated for 2 awards. And it was an amazing cast. We had an amazing time. And before the play was even over, people were already asking for another one. And so when we do
Mm.
something every
wow.
month for domestic violence, and I wanted to do it with a twist. And so I had reached out to male survivors. Some I knew, some I didn't. I reached out nationwide. And I interviewed these men from across the country on, what was your experience? What did it look like? Because we always hear about the women, right?
Hmm.
And they shared their story, and I got, all the legal rights to present their words in a stage play. And we flew them in. They came from all over to come and see their life on stage. And it was an amazing, amazing experience.
Now, before we go on to Mr. Jones and Denise, you also had another one called The Lamb of God,
Mhm.
and then there was also these here as well. Could you tell us a little bit about these as well?
Those were all plays that I was in with other people. The Lamb of God was actually, my responsibility was to bring a comedic element to the play. There was no script. There was no anything. It was like you just get in there and find your way. And I was like, "Ooh, that could be dangerous." And then the other ones I think you wrote. I've been in so many. When Love Hurts was written by J. Renee, I believe her. I can't remember her name. Who, uh, and anyway, R. Renee Productions. That's what it was. And she does plays as well. And that was one where I was actually a preacher in the play, and I was um, not so heavenly, I'll say. But yeah, I love acting. It allows me another outlet. It allows me to come outside of my element and be somebody that I probably never would really be, but I enjoy every moment of it.
And what about this one right here?
What are you hiding behind your smile was actually it was an empowerment conference that I spoke at, and it was again for domestic violence women who were corporate America, and we allowed them, if you would, to remove the mask of success and be their true authentic self, and we encouraged them to do that. And it was, again, it was just an amazing experience to see so many women, multimillionaires, I mean, all different income brackets, come together and console one another and be like, girl, we got this. And so we created what we call the Red Tie Sorority Sisterhood. And that's, you'll see part of it in your video, and part of it in my video for the music video. We were there with the red ties, and we was just that was our way of bonding us together through the blood of Jesus, that we would never allow hurt, harm, or danger to come to any of us if we can help it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm gonna turn over to Mr. Jones, but I'm gonna say, if you look, this is only some of the books you have seen that she have written, and the newest one that is newly released is the Intentional Healing. Could you tell them how they can purchase these books and where can they find them at?
You can go to my website, jgmtutoring.com. Or you can go on Amazon as well. Basically, anywhere books are sold, you can get those books.
Okay, okay. And over to Mr. Jones.
Two things. Two things. I've never heard of an improv play, but now I want to see one. I've been to a lot of improv comedy, but a play, that'd be raw. I definitely want to see one. Um, but I have something to insert here from you, and it really kind of touched me, and I just wanted to read it for everybody that haven't had the chance to go through the book and see things. It said, I never remembered being a really troubled kid because I often just stayed in my room and read my dictionary or my Bible and listened to music and danced and pranced around my room as though I was some superstar. I'm sure every little kid did it. I would sing in my hairbrush like it was a microphone and put my towel on my head full of long hair. Then I would pretend to sing my heart out on stage somewhere. I never knew that even then God was preparing me for my future. And I'm sure that that can touch the hearts of many because we all have been there in our childhood, in our imagination, fantasizing about doing something big somewhere. But in the reality of things, I think this touched me a lot because I've been in those spaces where I'm talking to God and I'm like, I'm visualizing what I want and we're having this conversation out loud, but I see what it is I want. I see where I want to be and I see what I want to go. And he has always brought that full circle for me. And so this paragraph in the book was very touching for me.
Thank you.
Okay, she started talking and she is
Okay.
muted.
No, I know. I said to myself, I must be muted.
Okay, also joining in with us is no other than the host of the show, Mr. Dwight. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him take it over. But before I let him take it over, because I wanted to do, I always have to do this. And I know I didn't tell him to do this, because I love her voice. Before I exit this screen and let him take over, she already know. I just gotta hear a little bit of you. So could you sing something for us?
I don't. But if the storms don't cease, and if the wind keeps blowing in my life, my soul has been anchored in the Lord.
Amen, amen, amen. In that church, please say amen.
Takes me back. Whoa, that takes me back to church.
He went all the way back there.
Jennifer Gilbert, I'm sorry that I was late. I had a family, little emergency. I had to get my niece down here. We was on the road, but I just want to say that the show was great. I enjoy you. I heard most of the things I can hear on over the road. I had to carry my niece upstairs. God bless her. She a young lady. She been so much. She had a stroke and she had so much things going on with her. So I got her here, taking care of her. But I just want to say that Spicy and Teresa, Mr. Mac Jones, y'all did an excellent job. An excellent job. And I have to just get on here before the show is out. Things happen, but I'm just saying, glad that the show went on, and I'm so honored to have you on this show to bless us with your gifts and testimony and that beautiful song you just sung right there. Just love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Brought it back to the wood floor and hard
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though, if your church was down here, I'll be going to your church. See, I'm up here in Austin, so that's a long drive, but yeah, I would have been there. I would have been there. Yes. So it's a bless and an honor just to have you on this show. And next time we do a show, I promise you I'll definitely make it. This was something that's happened out the blue, but dang, I'm kind of mad because they got the talk to you and got the treats and everything, but that's all right. That's all right.
You all right. You all right.
Yeah, I'll make it. I'll make it.
I'm still here if you have any questions.
Well, yeah, they asked all the questions I wanted to ask. So I'm like, well, ain't nothing else to ask. But like I said, I'm glad Spicy asked you to sing. At least I was able to hear that beautiful voice of yours. So thank God. I'm like, woo, gave me goose pimples on the back of the neck.
Thank you.
So yes.
It might have been.
Yeah. When I walked away for a second, she was on the big speaker all through the house. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I got you.
Oh, look, he trying to put blessings all through his
what?
house.
We're going to have to get some CD. I don't know if you got some music out, but we're going to have to get that music and everything. So,
Yes.
Yes. Maybe we'll play it from time to time on the show and get ourselves lifted up over here.
All right now.
I definitely loaded up our album, so I got it.
Oh, you know what? Well, hey, Mr. Mac, you already know what time it is. So that time comes, you can go ahead and bless us with some of that beautiful music of hers, that gospel music, and let us go and get our praise on.
Right.
Hey, I have to be about the 40 because we got really talking to me too. I can do that. But yes. Well, I said this before we end the show. Is anything else that you would like to tell us or anything before we end the show?
Yeah, before we end the show, we do want to get into her newly released book. If she would feel
most definitely.
On when it was released and where they can find it and what's the ingredients within this book here.
Yes.
Give us the sauce.
Yes.
That book was actually released on my birthday this year, January 11th. And we my father, I call him my father. My stepfather's birthday is the 13th of January. So we released that book on January 11th, and I opened my brick and mortar on the 13th, all in honor of my father. And this book is not about being the victim, This book is not about the circumstance or situation. This book is giving yourself permission to heal from the most deepest and authentic place in your life. It went as far as me, watch this, giving my parents the forgiveness that I never gave them, realizing that they were, neither one of them went to college, neither one of them knew what talented and gifted were, neither one of them came from a home, a Huxtable home, if you would. And so they could only give me what they had. And it took me a long time for me not to be bitter because I felt like they should have done better. And so that is basically what this book is about releasing all of the things that held me back in my life and appreciating every storm that I went through and every storm that I'm to go through, because now I see things through different eyes. Why? Because I'm intentionally healed. And with every decision that I make up in my mind that, oh, okay, I'm going to see this thing, I'm going to see this obstacle intentionally from a healed view and not from a victim standpoint.
Man, uh, Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, I want to ask you this because I write poetry, so I'm gonna have to get with you because you got over 40 something books. I'm just like, wow, Spicy working on her fourth one. I ain't got one out yet. I said, at least let me get one out.
Well, let's go.
So I need to get with you so I can get help on getting this book out and everything, because I used to write a lot and everything. Of course, I got into a lot of other stuff and working out this and that. So, but I still got my poetry in there that I wanted to write that book. I want to at least get my first book out with, and I believe with your help and blessings, I can get it done.
This
so
year.
Yeah, so we can see we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. When you were talking about forgiveness, people need to understand that forgiveness is not for the people who did you wrong or you thought they did you wrong. Mm-hmm. It's actually for yourself, because it heals your heart.
Right.
If you forgive, people say, I'm never going to forgive them, then you don't forgive yourself, because the forgiveness is not for them. The forgiveness is for you.
Yes. But you have, that's a powerful statement. That's a powerful statement that a lot of people say out of cliche, but they don't realize it until you actually authentically apply it to your life.
Yes. I had to forgive my biological father. I had to forgive him for all the stuff that he did to us when we were growing up as kids. I truly, honestly forgave him from the bottom of my soul and my heart and my spirit. God gave me that ability to do that. And I can truly tell you, if he was alive today, I know for a fact that I could actually go and give him a hug and say, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm getting it.
Yeah. Amen. Mr. Mack, do we have any words to say to the Dr. Jennifer Gilbert before we go off the air?
Ashley, yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll get to the part.
Yeah.
I remember the days when life seemed so simple, no expectations. Life never even made me tremble, but there was a big void in my life that I thought I could feel with the drugs, sex, men, and the money. But that life soon cost me so much pain, not to mention the shame. But there was nobody else but me to blame. Glad to know someone was praying just for me, showed how they really cared. And because of them, the story doesn't end sad. Yeah. Can I just be me? So glad he came and filled the void in me. Can I just be me? God's love came down and filled those burning me.
Can I just be me? The hurt and the pain I found I gotta be. Can I just be me?
Can I just be me? Yes.
Yeah.
Love is that. Oh wow. Hey, that's just a sample. I need a whole meal. I need a whole meal, but I love it. I love it. Oh wow. Look, I'm gonna have to get that whole CD. I'm gonna have to get in contact with you on the page so I can get it over here. I love that. I love
Why
that.
don't you tell us where you can find your CD? How about that?
You can go.
I was getting to that.
Yeah, you. Oh, sorry. You want us to let you answer? Let him ask his question.
Go ahead.
Been missing.
I know. I already did it for him.
But yeah, man, I was gonna ask where we can get your CD and everything because I love that. I love it.
Yes, you can get it from my website. I think it's on digital platforms. I don't know. I got so much stuff out there. I don't know where's what. But
okay, but that's fine. We gonna find out. Yeah, we gonna find out so we can get that. So we'll get it together. We gonna definitely find out. Even we have to find out and bring it up on the next show so the rest of the people on the show. Everybody else want to get into
the FBI here. You know the FBI is over there in that corner.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if she can get a baby picture, surely she can get a CD. I was like, wait a minute. What's she
I'm gonna drink my water and mind my business.
I'm telling you.
Wow,
But we do want to say we do love you, and I personally thank you for recommending to come back again, and as a gift from us, from our heart, I will be retrieving your address after the show. We will be gifting you "You Hurt, I Hurt" book by myself.
Yes.
Now we couldn't do this without Spicy, and not at all, because she is one slick cookie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to give that hand clap to you, Miss Spicy. Most definitely.
Yes. Much love. This has been a great show, even though I drove hours and everything listening to it. Just mad because I couldn't be a part of it from the beginning, but hey, it was a great show. I loved it. Have to at least get in here before we go off the air, but it was one great show. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Absolutely.
Such a blessing, such an honor. Man.
Yes, Jennifer came in 3 years ago when it was just me alone, and I was up in a small room, and so she blessed us with her presence then and brought so much nutrition to our soul, to where when she asked to come back, I was not even hesitant. Like, yes, Lord, bring her on in.
Yeah, well, we got to have her back again. If it ain't nothing but hey, I'm gonna tell you this, Dr. Jen. When we have another time, we have a game show. If you ain't busy, a game show or something, we want to have you back. As a
family night.
Yes, we want to have you back as a guest. Hey, you ain't even gotta join the women. You can stay with the men. You can come join us.
No. You join the women team. Team women.
How about listen? How about I let me get on both. I got to find me a husband now, because it's not good for men.
Oh, snap.
Well, you know what? Hey, Dr. Gilbert, Mr. Britton, the one we had an interview with, he looking for a wife too now.
Oh, come on now.
Mr. Britton looking. He said he's taking applications now. Yeah, listen, that's what he said. That's what he said.
Finds a wife. Finds a good man and obtain favor with
you know what? You right. Amen. That's what it says. You right. You right about that.
Make sure he look on the Unspoken Heart Hour.
Oh no, he's a part of the cast.
Yeah, he's the assistant co-host.
Yeah, he's the co-host.
Yeah.
All right.
But for anybody out there that's watching on, there is her contact number scrolling by at the bottom. If you have any questions or you need any assistance, please reach out to Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, and she will be more than glad to help you at 832-265-4817.
Yes.
But don't be calling this lady talking about this your husband.
Well,
no, don't do that.
Preach, sir.
If you need help, you need some
Now
counseling.
y'all know I'm being good tonight. Now I'm still staying in the bag. Now
I'm actually, I was going to say it in backstage, but I'm actually proud of Mr. Jones. It took Dr. Gilbert to come on the show. Have y'all
Hey.
realized how pure his lips has been tonight?
I kind of noticed that. I kind of noticed that.
I feel blessing and stuff in the air.
But we don't want him to change. Keep being you. We love you. Just the way you are.
Oh, I ain't gonna change. I'm just being good for the day.
Aww.
When she leave, like what he say on Friday, when she leave, I'll be talking again.
Well, I'm going to stay for the after hour show then.
Put some blessings on his lips.
Oh my Lord.
That's all right. Everybody knows.
Tanice, I ain't even gonna touch that. Let's keep on going in the show. Let's go.
My Lord.
You know I love you.
But Doctor, I will be calling. I will be calling.
All right. I'll
write that number down. Yeah, I'm calling. Yes.
All right.
Your voice is beautiful, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's what you call the anointing.
Yes.
That is the anointed voice.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm partially anointed.
Hey,
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
We got Denise in prayer. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. You a lot of prayer. A lot of prayer. Yeah.
That's all right.
Again, I'm staying out of this one.
Oh my goodness.
I see it on you, Mr. Mack. You got a whole lot to say.
It's boiling out of his head.
I feel it in my spirit. It's coming through the pores. Just let it out. Let it out. Be ye delivered. Whatever it is. I'm scared.
I would be ye delivered, but I ain't got no package right now. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Hey, see there? Everybody needs Jesus in their life. You know, I was raised up in the church.
Yeah.
So my mom was a minister. You know, my grandparents was ministers. I was in a group called the Heavenly Echo. We was one of the best gospel men group in San Antonio.
Now look at him.
Many moons ago. Many moons ago.
Did he walk away?
Well, you know, the Lord always stay with you. You know, sometimes you might need that church, but God will stay in you. No matter where you go.
He's standing with you. He got a big old switch and say, you better get right. You better hurry up for us.
Listen to me. Hey, you ain't gotta tell me. I know, but yes, you know what? And I had to find me a good church home where I found it awesome. Oh, that hurt. That hurt bad. Who is that?
Wow.
Yeah, that hurt. I felt that. Yeah, but I need to find me a good church home. That's why I said if your church was down here, I'd be right at the church. But y'all up there in Houston though. But that's all right. God gonna send me to the right one. He'll send me to the right one.
Visit?
Well, yeah, I can visit. Yeah, I'm talking about. Besides visit, I mean being there on Sunday, every Sunday and everything. I can't drive to Houston every Sunday. Now that's a long drive.
No, we can request her to come down here every now and then. Could we now?
But she ain't gonna do that.
Why
you
not?
do that for us?
If God calls us, God calls.
Come on, Dr. Jennifer, Gilbert, come on down then. Come on.
You gotta get the church home first.
Bring that blessed oil with you, because we need a lot of prayer down here. Bring it with you.
As long as you got groceries, I'm there.
Okay,
there
I got groceries. Come on. Yeah, we got groceries. Come on down. We're going to set it up. Man, we'll set up, maybe all of us can get together. We can hear you sing, and then you can get that blessed oil and pray for some of these people on here.
Yeah, that one right there, put some oil on their head, just swirl it on there.
I don't mind praying. I don't mind. We all need it, especially in these times. We need it.
It'd be kind of cool. The Spicy can cook for us, right, Spicy?
Yeah, Spicy, you can cook for everybody.
Yeah,
I like that. Like the way y'all just present that invitation.
Yeah, and you gonna make everybody's favorite meal. Yeah. I can see it now. Shrimp and fish. Oh, that's so long. Yeah. So we have to get together and hook that up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. I love family. I love people coming together and just enjoying each other. You know, so we gonna have to do that. We definitely have to do that.
Mr. Jones, come on now.
Yeah, Mr. Mack, you and Mr. Brittany to catch that plane. Come on down here with Honey, and come on down here so we all get together and do this. Because we all from Texas, y'all need to come on down here so we can show you how to do it.
We've had our Texas conversation last night. Remember, I told you.
Yeah, you're sure right. So you'll be down here. Yeah, you'll be on down here.
I wasn't there. What was the Texas conversation?
I'm on my way.
He said he's on his way.
He's on his way home.
Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, we was waiting for you to come on the show. You said you was gonna pop on the show.
You know what? Let me tell you something. God bless America. We have had a tragedy in our community. I don't live in Livingston. I mean, I don't live in Houston anymore. I live in Livingston. I bought a house at the lake.
Okay.
And I'm sure you all have saw on the news one of our students was murdered.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So this has been a trying week. Like, they shut the city down.
Yeah.
And it's been beautifully amazing. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron, especially considering everything that's going on. But, as I said, there's not a lot of people here that look like me. But what I love is how it's not about Trump or Bush or whoever else. Everybody came together, and we have been working together to now that they have found her and all of that, to get all of the arrangements and everything together.
Right.
It's been paid in full. We've started a scholarship fund in her name. It's just been an amazing whirlwind. And so I really wanted to be there last night. It was in my heart, in my mind. But
I was looking for you. Looking for you.
Yes. But you know what? I tell you one show I won't miss, and that's the one that is gonna be Find Love for Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. I'm gonna be there for that one.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna definitely do that. We're gonna definitely do that show. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna definitely do that. Right now, we're gonna definitely set this up. Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you. So it's been a blessing. I mean, truly blessing to have you here. And like I said, just beautiful. And I do want to give you for that book, because I can at least get one book out. So I'm like, at least get one out.
That's right.
So definitely I'm giving you so I can see about getting that book together. And like I said, you are more than welcome back here anytime.
Yeah.
All right.
You are more than welcome. And bring that. So I just want to say, do you have any final words for the listeners and people out there before we go out? Do you have any final words to bless us with?
If I had a final word, I would just say, if you have children or if you have loved ones in general, now is the time, and now is the time to hold them close, embrace them, and let them know that you love them, but more so that you forgive them. No matter what the offense is, this is a season, this is a time of forgiveness, because we never know when the last time is going to be. And that would be my word of encouragement, to live every day like it's your last, and enjoy every moment as though it's never going to come again.
Yes. Love it. Yes. So with that being said, we just want to thank everybody from watching the show, and Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, we just appreciate you being here. You've been such a blessing and everything, and we just love everybody that watched the show. And please come back and watch us again. The men will be back Friday night, because we will be talking about, what's that?
Mama's
Baby Boy. Yeah, so don't miss that, because that's.
And you the host of the show. You supposed to remember that.
Well, hey,
don't tell nobody else.
Don't tell nobody.
So I gotta give me something to eat. My brain ain't working correct, so I gotta eat and everything.
That's all right. I got some crab legs in the refrigerator.
Now, how you gonna help me, Spice? You ain't gonna help me.
You wrong for that.
You wrong, Spicy. You wrong for that. That's all right.
I'm on the way, Spicy. Just leave the refrigerator door open. I'll be there.
Well, dang, that's messed up. I'm gonna leave that alone, but I'm gonna give me something to eat. But hey, I love y'all guys. I love the people. I love the people watching. And once again, Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, we love you. We gotta definitely have you back here, maybe on the game night. Since you want to go with the women, go ahead, because the men gonna win it. But anyway. It's all. I said, you can go with the women, but the men, we gonna win this though. This is
No, y'all ain't.
women.
We're just trying to put her on a winning team. That's all we were saying.
Well, forget y'all.
Okay, forget us. Forget us then.
I'll get on the men's team just to be with Mr. Mack, so he don't ask me no hard questions.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that. I can get y'all men on y'all show. Y'all can find one. Get your men on the show.
That's all right. We got this. That's okay.
We're gonna invite Al Jarreau up here so he can come on and get on the show with y'all.
There you go.
I'm gonna ask God to put some anointing on our winning streak.
You just messed up.
Winning streak? What? That's what you said? That's what you said?
That's what's gonna happen.
Girl, stop.
Stop playing, girl. Stop playing. Y'all been losing. Thank you, Mr. Mack. Y'all been losing against us. What you mean? That's why I asked Dr. Jennifer Gilbert to be on our team, because I want her to win with us. Yeah. Whatever. Don't hate.
No, I'm gonna win wherever I am.
Congratulations.
Hey, I agree with you. I
agree with her, because if she go over there, even in a loss, it's a lesson. So you got to win somewhere. Hey, I ain't mad at her at all if she go over there. I mean, but hey, come on and win with us. That's all we trying to tell you.
All right, come on.
Hey, now, Spicy, what's the next game we supposed to play?
The 5-second rule.
Oh, I'm in. I got that in the drawer. So yeah, I'm in.
Well, I ain't never played that game, but hey, I'm down. I'm down with it. Yeah, we're gonna play that 5-second rule.
Which color cards you got, Spicy? Green?
Don't tell him nothing.
I ain't asked her what was on the cards. I just asked her what color the cards was.
I haven't opened the box.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't tell him nothing.
Okay. Seasoning salt. Put a little pepper on that. Put a little pepper on that.
Spicy. When are we gonna play this game? When we gonna play this game, Spicy?
It'll be next month. I gotta look at the schedule.
Okay. You be sure to let the doctor know so she can join us for this game.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let her know so she can come with us and we can join.
Yeah, so she can figure out which way she want to go.
So yeah. That's right, Mr. Mack. So it's gonna be lit. So yeah, let's do this. Yes. That way, make sure you tell her so we can do this.
Y'all just so mean.
Hey, no, it's not. It's all about fun.
And now we're mean. Isn't this special?
Hey, it's all about fun.
They don't know how to treat company. Tell them to me. They don't know how to treat company. Y'all just
I know how to treat company.
He said when she decide which way she want to go.
Yes, ma'am. We don't want to force. We don't force you. We don't want to force you into doing anything you don't want to do.
Doctor, we don't want to force. We just try to get you on the winning team. That's all. We don't want to force you though. But we just want to put you on the winning team.
Sound like dry begging to me.
Dry. This girl gonna talk about dry.
You know what's dry begging? That winning, that imaginary winning streak you talking about? That's dry begging.
It's gonna happen.
That's dry begging. It's gonna happen in the name of God. Keep on talking.
Now y'all see partially what goes on backstage, because this is the same conversation we had.
Oh, that's right. We are still on the air, aren't we?
Yeah. So instead that, we're gonna go ahead and tie this out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Much love. Thank you, Dr. Gilbert. Make sure y'all look her up. Thank y'all for showing love. And we'll see you next week right here on Grown Men Talking Incorporated.
Peace.
And do not forget, next Saturday there will not be no The Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour, but we will be back Friday. Much love, and y'all have a blessed week.